The Frog Prince. Once upon a time there lived a princess who shone with such beauty that even the sun looked dim next to her. When the weather was hot, the princess would walk through the forest and sit in the shade by a stream. She took a golden ball to play with, and sat by the water, throwing it into the air and catching it, playing a simple game. But one day her hand slipped and the golden ball fell into the water. Poof! The princess sat there and cried louder and louder, as if her heart would break. Oh, she was very, very sad. After a while, a warty frog popped his head above the water.
Why are you crying?
He asked. Because I have dropped my golden ball into the stream and I can't get it back, sobbed the princess.
What if, may I ask you a question?
Said the frog. The princess looked quite puzzled.
What if, what will you give me if I fetch you your ball back?
Croaked the frog. I will give you jewels and gold pearls. If you fetch back my golden ball, I will give you anything you want, sniffed the princess through her tears. But the frog explained that he wasn't interested in treasures. Instead, he wanted the princess's love.
If you will love me and care for me, be my friend and play with me, let me eat from your plate and sleep on your pillow, then I will fetch you back your ball,
said the frog.
Yes, oh, yes, oh, I promise, I promise that I will do all those things,
said the princess, but really she didn't mean what she said.
He is just a revolting frog,
she thought.
He will give me back my ball, and then I won't do any of those things.
The frog brought back the princess's ball. She took it from him and then ran back to the palace. That evening, as the royal family sat down to eat their dinner, there was a knock at the door. The princess went to see who it was. She was horrified. It was the very frog that had brought her the golden ball. He spoke the words to her again.
Let me in, oh princess, my sweet. Don't forget your vow. Let me by your side, my dear. To your heart I vow.
But the princess slammed the door in the frog's face and hurried back to the table.
Who was that?
Asked her father.
Oh, just a slimy frog,
replied the princess.
He would only fetch my ball for me if I promised to love him. How ridiculous to think that I should ever love a warty old frog. Yah!
A promise is a promise,
said the king, who was a fair man.
You must let him in and keep your promise.
And so, much to the princess's dismay, the frog was invited in. The king commanded his daughter to keep her promise, and, although she found the frog quite disgusting, she had no choice but to obey her father. The princess allowed the frog to eat from her plate and sleep on her pillow. She even played games with him, but she could not bring herself to care for him or love him. The frog reminded her of the promise she had made to him, saying these words,
Love me true, O princess sweet. Don't forget your vow. Let me be your dear. You must kiss me now."
But still the princess refused to kiss him. The frog followed the princess everywhere she went until she became quite angry with him.
"Go away, you horrible beast!"
she cried. But the frog stayed by her side night and day. One day, when the princess was in a particularly bad mood, she picked up the frog and hurled him across the room. He hit the wall and landed on the floor with a boof. He lay there, dazed, and had such a sad expression on his face that the princess felt really, really sorry for him and what she had done. She rushed over to where he lay, picked him up, and kissed him with true compassion. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and the astonished princess watched on as the frog was transformed into a handsome prince. "My dear princess," said the prince, falling to his knees, "please be my wife." The princess, for sure, knew that she loved the prince, and that finally her promise was fulfilled. The prince and princess were married in a spectacular ceremony, and the bride shone more brightly than the sun. They lived happily ever after.